So it's probably about time that I uploaded another video. I'm getting a bit lazy at the moment and I'm just relying on my live streams to pull me through, so I am sorry. But today's video I've got a pretty interesting one for you. So as you guys know from my live streams, my darts performance is abysmal at the moment, to the point where I'm getting a bit annoyed. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting pretty peed off with the way that I'm playing. So a subscriber of mine reached out to me and sent me a awesome training regime. I thought it'd be cool to make a little video and to basically share the wealth with you guys. But before we get into it, my name's Ross and welcome to Clash of the Tungsten. If you've been here before, what are you saying? If this is the first time on the channel, alright. If you do enjoy the video content that you do see today, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss another darts related video. This video is me basically ripping off one of my subscribers. His name's Shane Weeks and I'll put his Twitter details down here below so you can thank him. I thought it was really kind of him to reach out and sort of give me a few tips and pointers. The whole point of this whole training regime is based around structure. With my darts practice, there is absolutely no structure. I have a really bad habit of just going on nakka N01 and playing a bot. It's okay playing 501, but you don't necessarily train all the aspects of the game. A little bit of a disclaimer before we begin. You are gonna need to devote a little bit of time to this. Roughly, you need about an hour and a half to complete each and every exercise. A few things you'll need as well. You'll need a stopwatch, you can use your phone or whatever, and I recommend a pad or a diary so you can track your progress as the weeks go on and on. If you don't have the full hour and a half to dedicate to this training regime, then what I recommend doing is taking the timed exercising and splitting them in half. Say an exercise is 10 minutes, just do 5. It just makes it a bit easier and it allows a schedule to sort of work around you. So the first exercise is just 10 minutes aimless throwing. What I like to do is split this into 2 5-minute exercises if you like. So the first 5 minutes, I just throw at the treble 20 consistently, non-stop, just to get my eye in and get warmed up. There is nothing worse than trying to throw in a game of 501 with a stiff arm. Once I've thrown at the 20s for around 5 minutes, I still carry on aiming for the 20s, but with the third dart, I'll go for a double, such as double tops, double 16, or double 18. That'll just get your eye in a little bit on the doubles. As that is just a little warm-up exercise, you don't need to really write down or record anything. Once you've completed the warm-up, the next thing you want to move on to is single, treble, double, going round the board from 14 all the way to bullseye, hitting the single, treble, and double. What this does, it gets you using numbers such as, 14, 15 that you're going to need to set up those checkouts. A lot of people sort of forget about practicing those smaller teen numbers if you like, but they are a vital part of any 501 game, especially when trying to finish. It doesn't necessarily matter what order you hit the single, treble, double in, just as long as you hit it. And also, if you do miss with one dart, then you do stay on that number, so there's no sort of penalty should you miss. There's no actual time limit for this exercise, but what I would recommend doing is using a stopwatch and recording how long it takes you to go from 14 all the way to bullseye, and trying to beat it the next time you go through the training plan. The next thing you want to move on to is 15 minutes of consecutive 20s. This one, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty tedious and boring. What I like to do is just count how many I hit in that time. It gives you that score to beat the next time. After you're bored of hitting consecutive 20s, the next thing you want to move on to is fake 180s. And for this exercise, you have 10 minutes. If you don't know what a fake 180 is, it's a really, really simple premise. The whole point is to try basically hit a 180. You don't have to do it in 3 darts, so this is where it's a bit different. When you're at the oche, you throw for the treble 20. Say you hit it with a first dart, you miss with a second and you miss with a third. What you do, you actually leave that dart in the board in the treble and take the other 2 that missed out. You then throw again. So say you hit another treble and then you miss with a third dart, you leave the second dart in and take the third out until you make a fake 180. And once you've hit a 180, you record that and you start again. So once the 10 minutes is up, record how many you get and again, see if you can beat what you hit last time. This is a great thing about this training regime because you can always look back and see what you've done the last time and try and beat it, which is a really good way to stay motivated. There's nothing worse than training and practicing and getting bored. This sort of keeps you on your toes and it gives you that target to try and beat the next time. So the next exercise is very similar to 1-2-1, which you guys have probably played before. This variation is 81, so it's a little bit easier. The whole premise behind this is to try and check out 81 in 9 darts. There is actually a penalty should you not check out 81. The whole point of this is to implement a bit of pressure into your game. But you start on 81, you miss all 9 darts, you're down on 80. You then check out 80 in 3 darts and you go back up to 81. You set your timer for 25 minutes and record what score you get to after the 25-minute timer ends. Again, another great way of being able to track your progress because you can try and beat your score from last time. The good thing about the game of 81 is it adds that pressure that you would get in a real life game situation, and it also helps with the doubling out phase in a game of 501. Honestly, the pressure is pretty immense when you start getting up to the bigger numbers. And finally, to finish off the regime, I finished with a good old game of 501, just to put what you've practiced and trained into a real game situation. That can be online, it can be against a bot, whatever your preference is. And that's the regime. Big shout out to Shane Weeks for sharing this practice plan. I'm really looking forward to grinding it out and see how much it improves my game. Let us know in the comments if you guys have any practice plans or training regimes that you follow. And if Shane did help you out, give him a follow on Twitter, send him a message saying you love him or whatever, and just give him a bit of an appreciation. If you did enjoy this video today, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because it really does help the channel out. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.